this is the campaign section of the DM automation tool. So when you click on the create a campaign, it will bring you to this page. Very, very simple steps. So the first step is to import the leads. So you're going to name your file first. I'm going to name ours DM demo. Then you can click here to upload a CSV file with your leads on it, or you can drag and drop, which I'm going to do. So we've uploaded our file. I'm going to hit save and continue, and then this brings you to the messaging page. So on the messaging page, right, you can write out a message that kind of aligns with your goals. Just for demo purposes, I'm just going to say, hey, how are you? But again, right, if you're selling a product or service, you can kind of initiate with that. If you're looking for, to grow your network, and also write messages kind of aligned with that. So one thing to note, right, with X, you're able to send out, up to 500 DMs per day. We recommend sending, no more than 450, but essentially the point is when you're sending out large mass numbers of DMs, you want to make sure things are very, very randomized. So we offer this randomization tool. Essentially what it is whatever you put inside of brackets and you separate with a vertical bar, it will randomly select something inside there. So for example, if you had a message that said, hey, hi, hello, Josh, how are you? How have you been? How's it going? Right? It would randomly select one of the variables inside of the brackets that are separated by the vertical bar. So you might get, hi, Josh, how are you? Hello, Josh, how have you been? Hey, Josh, how's it going? And this essentially keeps your messages fresh, but also keeps you protected from any possible bot flags from X. I could say, hey, how are you? I could even change this message around and make it, just for example, hey, hi, hello, how are you? How have you been? What are you up to? Right? And then now we'll randomly select a message for that. Another thing you're able to do is add multiple different variances, right? So maybe you want to have, a different variant message. So maybe some of the messages you're selling a product or service, some messages you're trying to grow your net worth, whatever it may be. So for example, I did one that was something like this. Maybe I could say, hey, I see you follow XYZ creator. I'm a fan of his too. Just followed you. Follow me back if you want to stay connected. Something along these lines, right? You could write something like that. Maybe for the third message, you write something, completely different. Are you interested in XYZ product? Right. Again, obviously these are much more thought out when you're writing them for real, but this is just for demo purposes to show you that you can essentially write multiple different messages and it will randomly send these out. So if you send them out normally like this, it's going to basically split them up into 33% for message 1, 33% for message 2, 33% for message 3. You can change these configurations by clicking on the AB configuration button. And what this allows you to do is you can split the variants equally, right? They just said, or you can choose your own custom variances. So for example, on variant 1, let's say this is the best one in my opinion. Maybe I want to make that 70%. Variant 2, I'm just testing it out. Maybe I'll make it 20%. And variant 3, I'll make it 10%. So you can change up the A/B testing to kind of decipher, what variant does the best, and then from there give that variant more of a percentage or less of a percentage. And you can hit save there. Next, you're able to do is a follow-up. So you're able to click on the follow-up button, and then it asks you to wait for X amount of days. So it can be 1 day, it could be 2 days, 3 days, however long you want it to be. But essentially what happens is if the user does not respond within this amount of days, then your follow-up message will go out. So if the user does respond, the follow-up won't go out. But if they don't, then there will be a follow-up message. So I could write something along the lines of, hey, just checking in on my last message, something like that. Hi, checking in. Whatever it may be that you want to write, and you can add as many variants as you want. You can also do multiple follow-ups, right? You can do a secondary follow-up, third follow-up, however many you'd like. You can set that up as well. But let's say this all looks good. We would hit save and continue. Now it brings us to our campaign configurations tab. This is where we're going to select an account that we want to do the DMs off of. Then we're going to put in a total amount of DMs. If you leave this space blank, it's going to send all the leads on the file that you uploaded. Just for example purposes, I'm going to put in, let's say, 1,000. Then you can put a minimum and a maximum per day. For this, maybe I'll do between 50 and 450, and this will randomly select a number in between these two ranges each and every day, keeping it random. So for example, the first day, maybe it's 125 DMs that go out. The second day, it's 385, and the third day, it's 264, right? It's just random numbers between these durations. And then it also breaks up the DMs randomly in different time intervals. So for example, right, if you were to have one day equate to 1,000 minutes and you were going to send out 100 DMs, right, each DM would theoretically go out every 10 minutes. But that would be very kind of buggy and spam-like because it'd be the same DM going out at the same interval. So we make sure everything's randomized to keep it feeling fresh and looking fresh. So for example, you might have a DM that goes out in 2 minutes, 8 minutes, 12 minutes, 35 minutes, 6 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 8 minutes. Keeping it randomly sporadic, making it feel like a real account's actually sending these out. The next tool is the additional features where we have the follow before DMing and like the most recent post before DMing. And these features are actually massive. They really assist with people growing their account following. So the way that it works is if you can click on here, it's going to pop up and ask you if you want to confirm that you're going to use the follow before DMing. This does cost 1 growth tool credit as it is, using a growth tool function. So essentially what it does is before you send out the DM, it will follow the user. So imagine, for example, if I'm reaching out to people in the crypto space and I say something along the lines of, hey man, I see that you're in the crypto space. I'm also in this space too. I just sent you a follow me back if you want to stay connected, right? So if you're actively posting about stuff in their niche and you reach out to them and you let them know that you followed them first and then you give them a call to an action and a reason to follow you back, the likelihood of them following you back is actually significantly higher than people suspect, and it can really help you grow your account's following and engagement very rapidly through the DMs. Same with the like tool, you can do that as well. Then you'd hit save and continue and you're all done and you'd be on the final review section. On here, you're able to review your campaign configurations to make sure everything looks correct, and you're also able to read your DMs. You can bounce between the DMs by clicking this drop-down window, but you're able to see your messages here for both the regular DM and the follow-ups. And then when everything's good, you would click on Start Campaign, and the campaign will begin. And that is the DM automation campaign.